Can't belong to the Portsmouth Rotary Club without knowing about Friends Forever. So I've been a member for 22 or 3 years. And so when I came in, that was probably one of the more memorable meetings when the kids from Northern Ireland came and spoke to our club.
I'm still aware, though, of the conflict between the Catholic and Protestant religions. There are certain areas I would not go, especially at night, in fear of sectarian violence.
I was the president of Salemass Rotary back in 1987, and you know, all the local Rotaries started to get involved through Bob Raish.
Read the paper, stories about the Irish kids making faces and throwing things at the British troops, and the British troops would fire at them with rubber bullets, and they'd collect the rubber bullets and sell them. It was their way of making a little money to the tourists that came through. And I thought to myself, my God, anytime a group of kids can get together and do that, it's too bad somebody doesn't organize them in some way.
So it was in 1986 that Bob Raish decided to take on the project himself.
The amazing thing about Rotary is that not only were they the first sort of volunteers and supporters of Friends Forever, the group from Northern Ireland had a different experience than any other group like this had had. So they began calling Bob and they said, when can we send over the next group? It's amazing what's happening to these young people.
As a Catholic growing up in Carrickfergus, I've experienced first-hand trouble because of my religion.
At the same time, Bob was getting phone calls from Rotarians who were saying, when's the next group coming over?
1995, I joined the Salem Rotary Club, and during my first year, they introduced me to the Friends Forever program, which I knew nothing about. I had never seen it before, and they were looking for some Rotarians to participate in what they called an Away with Family event, and I would bring a couple of kids home and entertain them for the night. And it was a very enriching experience. It was a lot of fun, and my kids, who were very young at the time, got a big kick out of it. And it got to the point where my kids would often ask, when are the Irish kids coming?
That's when Bob knew that something special had occurred, that not only are we helping out the young people in their communities and homelands, but that the Americans, the Rotarians here, had a real thirst for the sort of international engagement, and you literally could make world peace in your backyard.
It was a simple idea: bring to the US an equal number of Catholic and Protestant youths from the war-torn areas of Northern Ireland.
Look at how many nonprofits sort of come and go. You know, this was just this grassroots thing, and there's something about it that just grabs people. You get 5 kids from one side of the divide, 5 kids from the other, and you bring them here. They have to live together, cook together, be together, and they get to see each other as real people.
It's just creating an atmosphere for them to get to know one another and to go back and to be a leader in their community and to say it stops here.
It's an insurance policy, exposing people to each other in hopes that if that's done year after year, generation after generation, and they take up the mantle, then we're laying a groundwork for just a better place to be.
It's the life raft theory. Even though the visiting group would be provided an agenda of activities, trust-building exercises, and public speaking appearances, they, along with their group leaders, would be left alone.
The life raft principle came from Bob Raish, and what it said basically is that you don't get to know somebody until you're on a life raft with them. We put 10 young people with their 2 educators, and they are together 24/7 for 2 weeks straight here in the US, encountering literally hundreds of Americans within those 2 weeks.
And it doesn't take very long that you know the other people in that lifeboat very well and very quickly. Then they go home and the father says, well, son, how was your trip to America anyway? And he goes, you know, Dad, those people across the street aren't as bad as you say they are.
And what's made Friends Forever unique the past 25 years is our insistence that these 2 weeks here is just the beginning of a full year project at home.
And for most of those 25 years, the Friends Forever program in Northern Ireland was run primarily from the US. That is now changing.
They're seeing over 1,000 graduates come home, and I'm talking about the adults now, saying, well, maybe this is a pretty good program. So now they're starting to get politically involved and we're starting to get funding from that country.
The catalyst for that change stemmed from the relationship built between Friends Forever Executive Director Steve Martineau and Basil McRae, a member of the Legislative Assembly of Northern Ireland.
1998, which is when we had the peace accord, was a big deal. We did decide that we weren't going to be shooting and bombing anybody anymore, and we got a government that's made up of all of the various parties trying their best to work together. But although we've had peace, we haven't really had reconciliation. So you still get people living in a highly polarised society. That's to say, the majority of people live in one side or the other side. With opening up the office in Northern Ireland, with starting to engage directly with people in Northern Ireland, it's now at the very forefront of government thinking. It's actually a central player, and we're now very pleased that we've been able to talk to corporations, particularly those that are export orientated. They see the benefit about putting a contribution towards the funding. They see real results in their local area. That's what really gets people excited.
Having a presence on the ground there and having people who live there day in and day out, I just think makes the program roots, if you will, go that much deeper. It also gives us a chance to engage that strong cadre of alumni that we have there, which is an amazing group of people who have nothing but positive memories and good things to say about the program.
The Friends Forever model can be replicated anywhere in the world where there is culture and conflict. So 3 years ago, they boldly began working in one of the world's long-standing hotspots.
I received a phone call from a Rotarian, actually Karen Babin, who was on our board, but she said, you should meet this gentleman named Raed, who's speaking at the State House in Boston. And I went 2 hours later and saw Raed Habib Allah, who was a teacher in Israel, speaking about a program he had started with a Jewish school called Common Paths. 2 months later, I was able to have Raed and his Jewish partner fly over. They came over on their own, and they visited a lot of Rotary clubs and spoke, and then we had them send over their first group that fall. Since that time with this partnership, we brought over 4 groups.
This program of Friends Forever focuses on bringing students from the Arab sector, from the Jewish sector. We're coming to the States, can look at other people's culture, and they become more educated, more interested in what's going around.
Before this project, I was thinking that they are so different from us, but when we meet each other, when we talk together, I found that there are a lot of similarities between us.
Sometimes we speak Hebrew together, sometimes we speak English, and like for the last few days I even learned some words in Arabic.
And we all need to give a speech. So we're helping each other with the speech, with how it should sound, and we're testing it like in front of the group to see their reactions.
This is my friend Dekel. He is 15 years old.
We came to the US on Friday, a week ago, after a long flight from Israel.
I can feel the difference, maybe in the way we look, the way we talk, but we all want the same things.
We share our cultures together in this home. We're having a lot of fun. We just laugh.
We will back to Israel. We promise them that we will invite them to our school in Ramadan month, and we will have iftar with us. Yeah, and we will keep touch in Facebook and all of these things.
I said to Mahmoud, my friend from N Mile, that I will come with my family and I will eat in N Mile and I will see his home because it's interesting.
It's really important because, you know, we're living together in the same city, in the same state, and we should know each other better.
The Israeli program, the Middle Eastern program as we call it, that's a natural place for us to grow. And seeing the impact it's made just on the 50 young people we've had the last 3 years, I think has also gotten our board of directors and more Rotaries and supporters and foundations interested in the work.
As has Friends Forever's work here in the US.
We see a lot of issues, even in New Hampshire, with immigrant populations. Manchester has a major problem with that in the schools, so we worked, cultivated relationships for the last couple of years, and they have a program where we kind of replicate what we do in the Friends Forever model. It's not full 2 weeks, but We're doing some weekends work with the young people.
We are now bringing kids who are in conflict in our next door town. There are 70 dialects spoken in Manchester High School.
These young people, we have them going out, they're speaking around anti-bullying campaigns, they're being asked to go speak all around New Hampshire in front of the governor. What's been amazing is in their high school now, they're sitting together in the cafeteria, and it's causing at first consternation, but then curiosity among their friends. And that's when we know that we've really hit upon something.
Rotary set the seed in place. That was kind of a driving force for Steve and Friends Forever and the board of directors to go out and get other business people involved, or communities, and they've done a great job.
For us, it's trying to cast the net as wide as we can and to get as many people as involved as we can. And the magic of it is that the more people are involved, the more people tend to want to get involved and support it.
Past 25 years, Rotary has been a solid leg of the support for the organization, and they continue to be. And as we envision our next 25 years, we are seeing Rotary less as the primary means of financial support. We're trying to diversify all of our revenue streams through foundations, individuals, special events, and Rotary, but also the network that it provides. You have a group of volunteer-minded individuals who are connected to corporations, their own businesses, universities, hospitals, etc., who come together weekly to do what they can to solve issues around the world and their community. So when I see the future of Friends Forever, where I have the vision of, if you will, franchising our models so that communities across the U.S., without having to start their own nonprofit organization, but want to engage in international community building, can do that through the Rotary in their community.
When the night has come.
Sort of like building a building in which you want to get the roof on as fast as you can, but you can't get the roof on until you get the foundation, the floor, and the walls up. And I think in terms of building a society, you need people at a local, personal level to have an understanding, to want to be able to live together. And I think that Friends Forever and groups like it are building the foundation and the walls, and the roof will come.
If you look at a lot of the issues we have in the world where there's so much divisiveness and so many ways to find the differences between us, I just thought it was a great program because it really focuses on the opposite end of that spectrum, which is where are we more alike than we are different.
I won't cry, I won't cry. No,
Got it just about right. And the secret of it is that we don't get too complicated.
It's one of those organizations that it's not a lot of heavy lifting to be involved. It's a couple of weeks here or there, and you take kids out to dinner, or you have them stay at your house, and everybody is so appreciative. And the kids are all so great. They're so uplifting.
When I look at the next generation, I look at those kids. And I think it's important for me to make sure that I can help in my little piece, help somebody move that puzzle closer together for the future generation.
You teach one pupil, you prepare one person, but in the future, who knows, maybe he will teach 5 or 10 more.
Let's not underestimate the opportunity here. This is a program that works, it's been working for years, and the world could do with more of it.
We are a jet engine. We're looking for existing organizations to attach onto their vehicle, because if they want to get someplace a lot faster and reach goals a lot more effectively, we feel, then they can partner with us and then they can accomplish those.